Money is not emotional, it is logical. Money is not emotional. Money is logical. Money is about logic. If you want to have anything to do with money and you want to be successful in money management, then you have to reduce your emotions. Now, some people were trying to ask me, as I read through the comments this morning, some of them were worried that if I said you should not be emotional, does that mean that you should not be kind? Or does that mean that you should not be merciful? Or is that saying that we should, that we should not go and, help people? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you have to regulate your emotions and your kindness as well. If you want to be kind and you want to be compassionate, those are legitimate feelings, but the expression of your kindness and the expression of your compassion has to be calculated, has to be well calculated. You must calculate when it comes to money. The fact that you are compassionate does not mean that you take uninformed decision. So you could be compassionate, you could be kind, but you still have to take an informed decision. You still have to be shrewd in your decision making. You still have to have financial intelligence. And if you want to have financial intelligence, it means that you have to, think about all financial decisions that you're taking. If you really want to be successful financially and be able to operate in financial intelligence, it means that you must be less emotional and be more calculative, but be more calculating. There are two things that work when it comes to money. Emotion doesn't work, but what works is one, laws. Laws work well when it comes to money. Money responds to laws. And there is another thing that money responds to. Money responds to planning or logics. Money responds to laws, and money responds to planning or logics, thinking, wisdom. So there are two things. There are two main things that that really could give you result when it comes to money. The first thing that you want to pay attention to is that you want to make sure that you know the laws of money. Money works well with laws, principles, but money does not work so well with emotions. It doesn't work so well with being sympathetic, being sentimental. Money does not work so much with that. Then the second thing that makes money work so well for you, apart from laws, is logic or planning. Money works well with wisdom. Another key thing that works in money is wisdom. When I talk about logic and planning, that is all could be summed up in one word: wisdom. So money works well with wisdom. Money works well with laws and wisdom. So there are two wings that you must possess before you can fly financially. If you really want to fly financially, you need two wings. And those two wings are the wing of laws and principles and the wings of wisdom. The wings of wisdom. Wisdom that is logic, thinking, and planning. I like the way Jesus spoke about that. There was a guy that came, one Ifeanyi that was there in the morning and was quoting all kind of scriptures to try to derail me that these principles are not scriptural. That's why, not just because of him, but tonight I want to base all my arguments on the scripture. Just for someone like him to be able to learn that if I'm not using scripture every 5 minutes, I'm doing that intentionally because I don't want to push away all the atheists that are here listening to me, and I also don't want to push away the Muslims and the Buddhists, and I have all kind of people here with me who are not necessarily Christians. So, and that's the original thing with my teachings. My teachings are directed at everybody. Everybody can embrace these teachings, and then it will be able to help them, and then they could decide if they want to become Christians after that or not. but we have to show them enough light that they want to become Christians. But we don't want to push too much scriptures in their eyes or in their face, so much that they are so embarrassed and they don't even want to stay with us and listen to what we need to say. So anyway, when it comes to money, that money is not emotional. I could see that in the scriptures, and I could see that especially in the teachings of Jesus, that Jesus knows this key. Jesus knows this secret. Jesus knows the secret of money, and he knows that one of the secrets and laws of money is that money does not work well with emotions. And I'm going to show you enough scriptures today for you to know that Jesus operated by this principle. He knows that money does not work by emotions. You remember when Jesus was teaching his disciples, and he mentioned the story, a situation about anybody that would like to, if there is a king that wants to go on a war against another king, it's told us what that king must do. It said if a king wants to go on a war, because a war is a money venture. If you are going on a war, you better have a lot of money. Without money, you cannot conduct a successful war. So Jesus was using that as an example of how we should relate to money. And he said anybody that wants to go on a war, if a king wants to go on a war against another kingdom, that king first must sit down and calculate and make calculations. He must first sit down and calculate. What does that mean? In that particular principle, Jesus was trying to tell us that when it comes to war or any venture that demands money, when it comes to any enterprise that where you will need money, the first thing that you must consider is not emotion. Don't just say, oh, this country wants to attack us, so we'll go emotionally and just begin the war. No, before you begin the war, before you go to war, any kind of war, it doesn't have to be physical war in terms of, war, killing people. It could be, business war. It could be financial war. It could be business. Business itself is a war. It's a war zone. Business is a war zone. Or even if you want to plant a church, that's a war zone as well. So any kind of battle you want to go into, let's better use that word. Any kind of battle that you want to go to would demand money. And any enterprise or venture that would demand money from you, as a principle that must be observed for that enterprise to be successful. For any venture that demands money, you must follow this principle. And the first principle you want to follow when you want to do any venture that demands money, that needs money from you, is number one, you must sit down. Sit down to do what? You must sit down to calculate. You must sit down to count. You must sit down to apply wisdom. So in this case, that is not talking about laws, but that is talking about wisdom. That is talking about being logical, about asking questions, about making calculations, about doing analysis. And anything that demands analysis, that is talking about wisdom. So money answers to wisdom. And before you go to any venture or you want to go to any enterprise, that demands money, you don't want to be emotional. So what are the ventures that you are planning to go into? And what are the enterprises or the battles that you are trying to engage yourself in? The first thing you must do is sit down. Somebody could challenge you. Maybe somebody comes and gives you a prophecy. A prophecy could arouse your emotions, but don't rush and do something out of emotion. Before you go to do something out of, make sure that your emotion cools down first. Any venture that you want to do in life, any enterprise that you want to do, either it's business enterprise, either it's financial enterprise, either it's even family enterprise. Maybe you want to marry or you want to begin to have kids. Make sure that you sit down and make, cool-headed calculations. There was a time I was giving an example here, and I made such an illustration that I would not advise that from my country where I come from Nigeria, that there is a culture and a tradition that once a new wedded couple marry, that the community and the society first year, once you are married in our country, they want you to be pregnant that very same year. And I was using that as an example that, that it is foolish to do that. It is absolutely unwise and irresponsible to get pregnant the very same year you marry. And it's not wise. And one of the reasons it's not wise is because of this principle that Jesus gave here. If you want to start any enterprise, if you want to go into any enterprise, any war, any battle, if you want to start any venture, you must first of all take your time, sit down and make calculations. Sit down and put on your logic hat. Sit down and begin to work things out. Make calculations. So anybody that is wedding and you wed and 2 months later you're already pregnant, I can't see wisdom in that. And that is totally against what Jesus is saying. Because wisdom demands that you want to, first of all, get to know each other better. You want to sit down, get to know what you like, what you don't like. You want to make calculations for your life concerning every area of your life. You don't want to make a girl pregnant the first few months after pregnancy. If you do that to a girl, then you don't know the girl you marry because, hormones will begin to come into play. She will begin to become more emotional because pregnancy changes the mood of any woman. And then she's now more concerned about her pregnancy, about the seed, about the in her, and about her well-being than about the marriage itself. So you've not even had the time to know each other and everything. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that God is and Jesus, all the passages in the Bible that we read, sometimes we just read them and we don't, it's a pity that we read those passages, but we don't, unfortunately, we don't always understand that we need to practice them. We don't always understand that we need to practice them. And that's very sad. So when you read a scripture that says, if you want to go on a war or you want to build anything, that you must first of all sit down, that's what it's talking about, including marriage. When you want to build anything, you want to build a marriage, because in the other part of that parable or that story that Jesus was saying, it was not just about war. It was also saying that anybody that wants to build anything, because it was saying if you want to build a tower, but it does not necessarily have to be a tower. If you want to build anything, maybe you want to build a marriage, you want to build a family, you want to build an enterprise, you want to build a business, you want to build a career, you want to build whatever you want to build. Anything that demands building also demands reflection, also demands sitting down first and not rushing. It does not demand emotion. Emotion does not do very well. Emotion does not go very well when you are, going to any enterprise or any venture, any deal, especially when that deal will cost you money. And whenever you are building something, that will cost you money. Any building of any sort needs money. And if anything, you want to go into any project at all, any enterprise that needs money, then you must never rush into it. You must take your time and sit down, take your time, make all your calculations, make your inventories, do your analysis, and only after you have done all your calculations and you have come to the very best conclusions, then you could begin to do the physical work, and you could begin to plan, begin to have the children begin to come, or you could begin to, go to work on the business or on the building, or you could begin to step out to do what you need to do. So what am I learning? What are we learning from this particular story from Jesus? He's saying, whenever you want to build anything, or whenever you want to, embark on any project that would demand money, make sure that you follow the laws of money. And the laws of money say, don't be emotional. Emotion does not work very well with money. Emotion only disturbs. Emotion only makes you to be illogical and irrational. And with money, you've got to be friendly with logic. You've got to be rational, and you've got to apply wisdom. So what he's saying is, when you want to embark on any project, or when you want to start any form of building whatsoever that will involve or demand money, as building will demand, as war will demand, you want to sit down first. Money demands cool-headedness. Money demands cool-headedness. So we must learn to be cool-headed. We must learn to take our cool, sit down, calculate the cost, calculate the resources that you need, make the calculations, find the pros and the cons and the pros, and and then come reach a well-informed conclusion. And that is when you could be successful. So to be successful in any deal that demands money, you need to know that there are two principles that are important. The number one principle is that money does not apply, it does not respond to emotions. So throw away emotions, be cool-headed and put in your logical heart and be logical. Ask your questions, put on your wisdom, and that is what makes money work. So, and then you need to look for the laws of money. So money works well with laws of money. Money works well with planning, with wisdom, but it does not work at all with emotions. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Now, we need to spread this word, and we need to do it together. For that to happen, we need your help. Just 5 little steps that you could help us to spread the word. Number one thing we need you to do is to like the videos. Please go like this video right now. Number two, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Number three, we need you to press and click on that notification bell. You see the bell? Go press on it. And number four, we need you to go comment. Write your comment, good or bad, just write what you feel. Number five, share on every platform. Share on Instagram, share on Facebook. Just share and spread the word. Thank you so much. All right, blessings.